You're now watching The Franchise on the DML Network.
Welcome into the DML Network. It's your boy Expert, and we got another episode of The Franchise, which means we have drafted in the Dynasty, and it's time to get this season started. You know I don't do these shows by myself. I got two OGs on the show with me, two guys we have done this show quite a bit together, so we'll be able to chop it up real quick. First up, it's the OG Chris Murray and those Cleveland Browns. What's going on, Chris?
What's going on, man? Happy to be here, man. Let's get into these picks.
No doubt. And of course, I got my co-host, the guy that's always here for the franchise. It's my favorite Dynasty user in the world, Mr. Tazzarelli. What's going on, Taz?
What's good, fellas? Good to be here on the road to high stakes now.
No doubt. We're down to the last season, guys. And, this is where this draft here, last draft and this draft here really is starting to get into those most important decisions you're going to make for your franchise, because you have many opportunities to add that superstar to your roster and trying to develop him going forward. And this is a very important draft, and we saw some really, really good players come off of the board here that are going to change some franchise around. And how did y'all like your draft, Taz?
I was real happy about my draft. I think this draft was my best draft this cycle.
Wow.
Picked up those extra picks, and it just so happened I got them at a time where my team, I'm just about there, so I didn't have to add a lot as far as starters. It was just, getting some depth at positions and staying young.
OG, how'd you do over there in Cleveland? Oh, was that bad?
Yeah, I had to take a little pause right there because the draft, it was good, but it wasn't what we thought it was going to be. But we actually lucked up and got some help on our defensive line, because that was a struggle that we seen last season that, we had to address this offseason. So it was an okay draft. I got a piece that, it's my team, they're not that bad, but we had to patch up some holes in that defensive line. So I think I landed, that in this draft. But I'm looking forward to this up-and-coming offseason draft, because a lot of players, was just snatched off the board. I mean, dudes was just taking everything. I mean, my draft board was tore to shreds. Like, even people that I had projected to pick in the second round was going. So it was an all right draft, but I'm happy that I was able to patch up that hole in my defensive line. So it was cool. It was cool.
Yeah, we drafted a nice little piece for the offensive line late in the draft, and we got a nice little linebacker in round 2. So very pleased with the Jacksonville draft. But it's how you put those players into the roster and how they contribute to the team. And let's start with a linebacker coming off the board at pick number 1 here for the Buffalo Bills. And Takoi Chinasi. This is the linebacker coming out of Oklahoma. And there was some talk that he would be a top pick, but nobody, and I'm talking nobody but Buffalo, thought he would go on. And we're going to see who everybody thought would go on here in this next pick. But Taz, the linebacker has everything you want. You look at him. Talk about this kid that came from Oklahoma.
This kid is a monster. 6'5", 240. He got 83 speed with 88 acceleration and 95 hit power. I mean, come on, man. He ain't tripping for real.
Yeah, that's crazy, dude. This guy hits you, you're going to know that he hit you. We haven't seen 95 hit power in a long time, Taz, coming out of a rookie, though.
No, not at all.
It's crazy. And I'm pretty sure when he drafted him, he wasn't expecting the 95 hit power. He did expect him to be a very fast linebacker, and with 88 acceleration, he's going to play very, very well. He's got him at right outside linebacker. Going to be a good pickup for the Bills. And this will probably be the least amount of time we'll take on a first-round pick, because we got to go to the real first-round pick, and he got drafted second to the Minnesota Vikings. And OG, now listen, the three of us were in a chat when this guy gets drafted. And, we said, okay, he drafted a wide receiver. We all want to see what he's about. When Hamilton posted Griffin Austin in the chat, I think it was a collective lose our brain when we saw this guy's speed. Chris Murray, 99 speed, drafted, not progressed, not improved. We talking drafted 99 speed. What can you say about this kid coming out of Tennessee as you see some of his highlight film right here?
I'm telling you right now, flat out dangerous, man. Like, this is going to be a guy that will allow you, no matter what user you are in the DML, allow you to open up your offense, because this, right from the gate, 99 speed, you have to pay attention and know where this guy is located at all times on the offensive side of the field. So, for one, it opens up the run game out there, which him with top last season, I think he did a good job with that by, bringing a running back and getting top production out of him. So, when you add somebody like him to the offense with this speed, and like you said, it's flat off the gate. It's not like, you're building him up. You're getting a guy that's at 99 speed, he's 21, and he has quick development. That's all I'm going to say. Like,
but you have to look at the rest of his attributes. He's coming in with 81 catch, 83 catch in traffic. He already has 87 release off the line, 93 agility. This is a guy that is ready to step in day one and change the Minnesota Vikings offense. And Taz, I'm going to ask you one question about Griffin. If the Buffalo Bills could redo the draft, is he still taking a linebacker?
Hell no. He's taking Austin. And I wish he had taken Austin, because I got to see Austin twice a year now. I mean, I got DJ Edmonds, who's progressing very, very well. He was made captain this season, and he's pretty fast, but he ain't this fast yet. Yeah. Like 99 speed, 93 acceleration. Just like Chris said, straight off the rip, just coming in. The only thing I can hope for is he's 5'11", 187. In Detroit, we gonna hit you. We gonna hit you hard. And I just hope we can hit him and put his ass out.
You got to catch him first. This is a great pick. Now, the Buffalo Bills pick was good. He's a great linebacker, but he gets overshadowed when you get a guy like with 99 speed coming at number 2. But let's move on, because we got to go to the Tampa Bay Bucks. Next up, number 3, first quarterback comes off the board, and it's Ben Martinez. This is the quarterback that came out of Alabama, one of the top-rated quarterbacks here in Taz. Star development, he's got 90 throw power, and all of his attributes look really good for a guy that's ready to step in Tampa Bay. Is this the piece that puts Tampa Bay finally to at least a 500 season here in the Dynasty?
Maybe.
It's okay to say no. It's okay.
I'm going to say maybe. I think he has to figure out who needs to be where on his offensive line, because in the preseason, we were still getting to his quarterbacks, and I just know Atlanta and those Falcons, they love to eat in Tampa Bay. So if he figures that out, this guy could put him over the top.
So does Ben Martinez put Josh Allen out of a job in Tampa Bay?
He should. I don't know if it's going to happen immediately. Like I said, it's going to depend. He has to figure some other things out. He'll probably be worried about, some regression with interceptions, because he's going to throw some interceptions. Yeah. He no longer has Mike Evans to bail him out. So it's going to be interesting to see what T-Pain does this season with this kid.
All right, next up, the Tennessee Titans have the 4th pick in the draft, and we get our first offensive lineman to come off the board, and it's Adrian Thornhill. This is the kid out of Oregon, 21 years old. He's 6'6", 316 pounds. And, a guy like Darkness, he felt he needed some help on the offensive line because he has to face 3 teams that really know how to get after the quarterback in Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and, of course, the Houston Texans. And, he goes out and gets Thornhill, and this is a guy you can plug in right away. Is there anything about this guy that jumps off the page at you?
I mean, he's number one, most importantly, he's young, but he's a balanced offensive lineman. He can block with the pass game. He also can get a block on the run game. But this right here, to me, in my opinion, is a good pick because, like you just mentioned, so I like when I see GMs and users address issues that holes are supposed to be filled. Like, for example, like you have a fast wide receiver, right? That, in the DML, this period, anybody would have went after that fast wide receiver. But I like what say Darkness took. He understood he's in a division where you got the Houston Texans, you got the Jacksonville Jaguars, you know, who knows how to get after the quarterback. And as you can see from last year, Bennett Claybrooks was sacked 43 times. So I like that he went out, addressed the offensive line, got him a solid piece. That's somebody that could come in from day one and can pretty much fill that hole, man, because he's somebody that, you know, he's a user that he leans on his passing game. So he's going to have to, you know, address the offensive line. I think he did by bringing in this big guy right here.
Yeah, and it's a good pickup here by Darkness. And like you said, going and getting a need versus trying to get that sexy pick. And that's just key, especially here in the Dynasty when you got guys screaming off the edge, you know, like Jadeveon Clowney or Dante Fowler or Taco Charlton, guys like that. Good pickup here by Darkness. Next up, it's Flair and those Pittsburgh Steelers. We're going to see our first running back come off of the board. And Taz, I want you to talk about Leonard Baker. Le'Veon Bell is now 32. He's still producing at 32 years of age, but he felt like he had to get younger at the running back position. And the guys he had on the roster, JT Andrus was not going to fill that spot. So he felt he needed to go and spend a top 6, top 5 pick on a running back. And he gets Leonard Baker coming out of Oregon. And what can you say about this kid here? He's superstar development. Got 89 speed, 90 acceleration, but everything else about this kid looks really, really good, minus his trucking.
He's an elusive back, 5'11", 196. He's only 21 years old. Coming out of Oregon, you know, they have a great system up there. So, you know, this kid can catch the ball, he can run the ball. I mean, this was a really, really great pick by Flair. I have to give him his props on this one.
Yeah, good pick here. I actually like this kid. I felt he was the number one back coming out. And the next guy we're going to talk about, other guys had him first on the list. And so let's go to the Dallas Cowboys pick and OG Chris Murray. First, let's talk about you have Ezekiel Elliott in your backfield. You have probably one of the top 3 running backs in the NFL in your house. And you trade him away to go and get Mustafa Thompson. You don't see Mustafa's tape here from Stanford. The guy can play. He's a good power back. He's star development. I mean, he's got 90 carrying ability. He's got 90 trucking, 85 stiff arm. This is a big kid that's going to try and run you over. Mm-hmm. But is he better than Ezekiel Elliott for the Dallas Cowboys?
Listen, it's time to talk facts, man. Let me just say this right here. If you can't run the ball with Ezekiel Elliott, it don't matter what running back you put back there, you're not going to be able to run the rock. Like you had, like you just mentioned, Ezekiel Elliott, which is by far one of the most dominant running backs in the DML, you know, and you couldn't produce with him. So this pick right here just doesn't make any sense in my head. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's like you having Aaron Rodgers, who's a 99 all across the board. You go, well, I'm going to cut Aaron Rodgers because I can't play with him. I'm going to draft me a rookie quarterback. And it's like, dude, if you can't play with Aaron Rodgers, you're not going to be able to play with nobody else. And this pick right here was flat out dumb. I felt like you could have signed Ezekiel Elliott. You could have kept Ezekiel and addressed different issues on your roster. It's like when he went out and he drafted like 6 quarterbacks, like 4 quarterbacks 4 years straight. It's like, dude, what are you like? I don't know what's going on in Dallas, you know, but this pick right here, it doesn't make any sense. It don't make no sense, man.
Good player. This is a good player. Mm-hmm. He's just going to the wrong system is all it is.
Yeah.
You got a crowded backfield. You got Jordan Howard. You got Rashad Penny, who he traded Zeke for. Then you draft Mustafa Thompson, and you still have Corey Grant, who's still running at 94 speed. This is a crowded backfield. Who gets the carries? And on top of that, the Dallas Cowboys have not been known as a team that likes to run the football. So to draft a running back here when there was other needs on your roster, to me, this is the first reach pick for me if we're looking at it. Picks 1 through 5, great. Pick number 6, this is a reach for me. All right, but let's move on to the next pick, and let's stop talking about the Dallas Cowboys. Next up, it's the Cincinnati Bengals. We see a right tackle, Kelsheem Stewart, All right, Taz. This is a beast at right tackle, and he's going to be able to play in multiple positions. Is Kelceem traditionally going to stay at right tackle, or do you feel like we might see him move a spot over and play guard, or maybe even flip to the other side and play left tackle?
This kid can play anywhere on the offensive line. I mean, he, like you said, he is a beast. 6'5", 307, coming in with 93 strength. This kid, did he put up, what was it, 40? Was he the one that put up 40-something reps at the combine?
Sir. Yes, sir.
I mean, that's crazy. That is crazy. I was hoping he would have fell to me at 14, but man, this was a great pick by the big homie.
Can I ask on this pick right here, man?
No, go ahead, OG.
Listen, I'm just speaking facts, man. It's a good pick, right? But I'm gonna tell you why I don't understand this pick right here. Also, you trade on dominant people on, in Madden on the defensive line. All right, you create a hole, but you fill that hole by replacing the talent like Myles Garrett with a younger defensive lineman who in this draft I think stacked up. Go get a lineman. I don't understand some of these picks that are making by creating holes and not filling them with potential players in this draft. So like this pick right here, even though 90% run block, that's all good, but I just don't understand.
Yeah, and I think one of the big things is that he felt he had on the roster some guys that could step into that role in the defensive lineman. He's got Carl Lawson. He's got the young guy, Rayshawn Moore, that he drafted several years ago. He's still got Jordan Willis on the roster. He's got some pieces. Maurice Hurst playing defensive tackle. Beltung that he drafted 4 years ago. He's still got some pieces on this defensive line. And so I think that's kind of that mentality where he felt like this offensive line needed help. And I'll tell you this, his defense definitely needs to improve. He got a 50-piece in the first game of the preseason versus those Jaguars. But I will say this, his offensive line blocked better this year than I've ever seen him block against us. And it gave his quarterback time to throw the ball. And he made some plays I have not seen the big homie make in a long time. So I think Kelceem was a good pick. And I understand where the OG is coming from. But I like this pick. But, guys, we got to give out 2 awards on this show. And so we're going to give out our first award. And so once you see this award, you can go ahead and change your name in the chat. But, Dion, go ahead and roll that video.
Breaking news. Today, unpredictable events have occurred across the globe. Who has come to save the day for humanity? Who is this mysterious, mighty hero? Stretch Armstrong. Your stretchable superhero. Stretch him 4 times his size. He becomes bigger than a building. Tie him into a knot. He always comes back to his original shape. Stretch him again and again. Stretch Armstrong. The return only from character. Stretch Armstrong.
That's right. The Stretch Armstrong Award winner for this year in the Dynasty goes to JB and those Broncos. And Taz, this was really almost a unanimous decision when we voted on this award. There's one other player that we were in discussion about, but it was later in the draft. When you draft in the top 10 and you have a monster at wide receiver already, and then you trade him away to get Denard Hill. This was an easy pick for the guys in the media team. Why in the world are we drafting a wide receiver when you had probably one of the best wide receivers in the Dynasty already in your house?
I don't know. I have no idea. I don't know what JB was thinking, what his thought process was, if he just kind of subconsciously given up on this cycle because he's been struggling. But this most definitely ain't helping with the struggle. I mean, he's 6'6". That's a plus, 224. That's cool. He got 91 speed at 6'6". That's rare. 90 jumping, 90 agility, 82 spec catch. But he is 75 overall, normal development.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, damn.
This looked like one of those, dang, I know I messed up, so I got to try hurry and fix it up moves that he made. That's what I'm taking from it, because he knew when he traded that wide receiver away last season that he shouldn't have done that. So, but you know the famous quote in the Dynasty, man. They saying you can't teach 6'6", so
that's true.
You can't, but you had a guy that you trade away that, yeah, he's 6'1", he's only $185, but he's got 96 speed, 93 acceleration, and his route running is second in the Dynasty. This is a guy that has huge release, huge agility, and he's a star development. I mean, everything about Vaughn fit everything that you wanted at wide receiver, and there's no way Denard Hill matches up to that. Now, is Denard Hill capable of being a great wide receiver? Sure, because at 6'6", running 91 speed, that's going to be dangerous. But like the OG said, if you couldn't pass and catch the ball with Vaughn as a wide receiver, Denard Hill's not going to be any better. So, JB, change your name in the chat. You are the Stretch Armstrong Award winner, and now you have to prove to us that Denard Hill was a good pick and force feed this young man the football. But let's move on. Next up is the New York Football Giants, and we're going to get our first free safety come off the board, Chuck Tarpley. And yeah, I'm not impressed with this pick here, OG. Talk to me about Chuck Tarpley. Is this a good pick here at number 9? Again, it's okay to say no.
Look, this is the thing. Like what I try to picture in my head, right, is sometimes you're not going to understand the picture that some GMs are painting because you on the outside looking in. So, but this right here is flat out is not a good pick. I'm gonna tell you why. First of all, he's playing the free safety position. He has an 86 speed with an 84 acceleration. Man, my grandma can run past him. And he's in the division. This is why I'm be talking facts. This is another reason why this pick is not a good pick, because you're in a division with Matty Ice, who loves to pass the rock, who's loaded up with speedy wide receivers. Then you have HBO over there with the Dallas Cowboys, who's loaded up with speedy wide receivers. Then you have under 2 rated, who's loaded up with speedy wide receivers. So the facts is right there. Like, this right here is just a horrible pick. I don't think that this guy's gonna make it on his roster this season. If he does make it, I tip my head off to him. But
he's got to make the roster. You wasted the first top 10 pick on him. Yeah, this guy has to make the roster. Matter of fact, he's such a bad player. He's gonna have to make every special teams he's gonna have to play on. Listen, he has to be your starting free safety. You pick him at number 9. He has got to be a starter. And what's sad is the rest of his free safeties just as slow as this jag is, because this is just a guy that you picked number 9 and wasted a top 10 pick. And I'm sure if West Coast Puglisi was on the show, he would tell us, man, I would pick somewhere different if I had to do this over again. This is a bad pick. And if it wasn't for the Broncos trading away a top wide receiver and getting a wide receiver that's worse, this is the Stretch Armstrong Award winner for me. And it's not even close, because you have 86 speed, 84 acceleration as a top 10 free safety. Not good. Not a good look for you as the New York Giants. Let's move on and let's talk about those before mentioned Washington Redskins. Blake Meadows comes off the board here, and this is the left guard with 93 strength, 83 run block, 81 pass block, under 2 rated. Very happy with this pick when he got him. And Taz, talk about this kid. He is ready to go day one to help this Washington Redskins maybe make some moves here in the NFC East and try and get in that first or second spot.
Yeah, definitely. Great pick. Another kid I wish that could have fallen down to me, but 6'4", 342, 21 years old, putting up those reps, got that 93 strength, 83 run, 81 pass block. I mean, he's just all over the board.
Yeah.
71 awareness. So the kid is smart. He's going to pick up on the playbook. He's ready to roll. Great pick by Underrated.
No doubt. Next up, it's the Raiders and Mr. What up himself, Mr. Tone Dog. And we get a strong safety to come off the board here for the Oakland Raiders. And this is why the pick for the Giants is worse, because when you get a pick for the Raiders here at number 11, and we were going to get him to show up here on the board here in a second. When you get a guy like this to come off of the board in Shedrick Robertson at 92 speed, 92 acceleration, if you needed a safety, this was the guy to go get. Now, he does need some work with his zone coverage. With his play rec is not very good, but he's got good man coverage, and he's got good pursuit. But Shedrick Robertson is a better safety than we saw at pick 9 with the Giants. OG, is speed that important at the free safety position? And if it is, why is it so important?
Of course it's important, because those are the guys that's helping over the top. Like when you're assigning, when you're going up against users that, like, everybody understands, man, speed in any league you're in, speed is very important at certain positions. But when you're on the defense side of the ball, you're going up against users like first off, my fault for being all over the place. But my first thing is, like I tell guys, you need to be able to be competitive in your division. So if you understand that you have guys in your division that have speedy wide receivers and you know how these guys like to play, you have to adjust your teams. You have to adjust your drafting, your trading, to being able to compete and make moves to where you can compete within your division against the users that you're playing against. So when you got a guy like Joseph Myers out there in Dallas who has a 98 speed, 97 acceleration, you're going to need somebody with some speed like what we're seeing right now from Cedric Robertson, 92 speed, 92 acceleration, to help those cornerbacks when they're getting burnt down the field. Because if you got somebody back there with an 86 speed, 84 acceleration, it's like, okay, no problem. I know what I'm going to do to you all day. I'm going to sit there and run a million street routes, because there's no way that your guy is going to get over there in time to help out your slow cornerback. Yep. So this is why, like, it's simple. Like, it's not rocket science. You know, it's very simple, and it requires this basic common sense. But clearly, you know, my man, you know, what's Sao Pablo, you my guy, man. But you messed up on this one, man. You played yourself on this one.
All right, that is your one free chicken here on the franchise. We will not be giving out any more free chicken. Let's move on to the commish himself, picking at 12, Nasty Noob. Now, we know the Falcons needed a running back. And Taz, the Falcons had a bunch of guys in the building before the draft trying to figure out who was going to step into this spot. Devontae Freeman is officially old in the Dynasty. He has now reached 32. He's not going to give you 45, 50 plays every single game. And so Rashard Allen was high on the board in Atlanta. This is the kid from Florida State. He gets to kind of stay in that southern region, stays there in Georgia. And this is a kid who's got some really good attributes. Now, the 90 speed, 89 acceleration is decent for a running back, but he's got 86 carrying. He's got ball carrying vision at 82, but he's got 91 agility, and his spin move and juke move are already up there. Is this a good pick here for the Falcons, or do you think he reached here?
No, this was the only pick for the Falcons. He was the number one player on the board for him. This is his guy. This is who he wanted. And he fell all the way to him. I could just see the commish smiling through the screen, just happy as could be that he got his man. This dude right here, I can't wait to see the Falcons open up the season and see what he does with him.
Yeah, good pickup here for the Falcons. All right, let's move on. Mr. Comeback King himself and those Panthers, Mr. C-Rob. And we see Charles Welch come off the board here. This is a good middle linebacker. And OG, is this a Luke Kuechly-esque linebacker here in Charles Welch?
No, that's being, you know, that's no. That's not Luke. Not Luke. Man, he might be a little fluke, but he ain't Luke. But this right here is a good linebacker because he actually was on my board, and this is a move that I like to see. I like seeing GMs make these type of moves because he understood. He's aging at the linebacker position. He needs to get somebody in there that come high stakes, they can be ready. And this guy right here, this is his guy. He's a star development. He has 83 speed with an 84 acceleration. C-Rob knows, from watching him play a little bit, he knows he's not great at using the linebackers. He knows how to, create turnovers when he's using them. So I think that, this would be a guy that, he will be able to control and make some plays with. 83 block shedding, 85 tackles, so 81 zone. He's an okay guy, but I'm pretty sure that come high stakes, he's ready to ball, flat out.
Yeah, I like this pick. Charles Welch has potential to be a very, very good linebacker in the Dynasty. He has every attribute you want. His speed is going to improve when he gets into that weight room and into that speed and conditioning program there with those Panthers. And I promise you, this guy's going to be one we look back at and realize he was a great pick here for the Panthers. All right, next up. All right, Taz. Let's talk. We was in the chat when you made this pick, and you were very, very pleased with Vincent Talton. And tell us why this is such an important pick here for the Detroit Lions.
Well, we can jump back to what OG Chris Murray was just talking about, knowing your rivals in your division and, trying to build your team to deal with that. They're the guys you play against, twice a season. So that's 8 games right there. You got to worry about. So for me, I was having trouble stopping those edge rushers, especially, from the Vikings and the Bears. So I had to, do something with my tackles, and I went and got this guy. I already spoke about the other guys I wish that had fallen to me. Whoever it was, they were playing tackle for the Lions, period.
Yeah. It's a good pick. I like this kid. I mean, he's got everything that you want. And at 21, quick development, 311 pounds, he's going to progress very, very well. And he's already at 80 overall. This is a good pick here by Taz and the Lions. Next up, King Vitamin and those Rams. We see DeAndre Nelson come off the board. This is another guy with great hit power, 84 speed. He's got 90 hit power, OG. Talk about DeAndre Nelson.
He's a solid dude, but I gotta just talk facts. Like, this pick right here does not make any sense to me. You lose Ty Gurley. You lose Jared Goff. I don't. Man, but the player. Let's talk about the player though, man. The player. He
drafted a running back to take Ty Gurley's spot in Antoine Dean. Mm-hmm. He has a quarterback on the roster in Fisher Womack, who he felt was the guy to take over for Jared Goff. Mm-hmm. He's got those pieces, and this is another one where, you talked about we don't understand the picture they're trying to paint, but King Vitamin felt that the talent level in this draft at linebacker was more important than the talent level at running back, and especially with the top 3 running backs already gone off the board. He goes and gets a guy later on in the draft, Antoine Dean, who can step in and really, really help this roster out. He's a 75 overall. So I like this pick at linebacker, but I can understand what you're talking about. There are some quarterbacks still on the board at this point that he could have taken, and we'll see a couple of those later on. But we'll see the progression of King Vitamin as we get a couple picks down. But go ahead, Chris Murray. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, but the overall, as far as the player, this is a guy that he's scary good. I'm gonna tell you right now, that 90 hit power, and this is a guy, when he hits you, you're going to be running to the sideline telling the coach you need to take a couple plays out because you want to feel it, and I understand the move that Vitamin made by drafting him because, he's just looking at his attributes, he's flat out good, and he's scary good in my opinion. This is a guy that I will label as scary good. You got those good players, Then you got those scary good players, the ones that you like. I really don't want to face this dude, man, because he might destroy me. But I understand the move, but I just like he's a good player, man. I'm looking to see what he's going to do, but I feel as though that with this pick, he could have addressed it way more holes on this team. He could have. I ain't good with no free chicken. Good pick, man. Good pick.
Next up, Solomon and the Jets. And he gets Allie Richards. All right, Taz, we talked about speed. This guy doesn't have the greatest speed. He's got decent speed, 91, 90 excel. He's got 85 press, 95 jumping, but his zone and his man coverage, not where they need to be. Man's at 80, decent, but is this a good pick here for the Jets at pick 16?
we talked about the struggles of the Jets in his offseason, making mistakes, losing star players.
Yeah.
With those losses, making this pick, I don't know. He's a great. I'm not going to call him a great player. He's a good player, but I think Solomon might have needed to address, the losses that he had due to his violations, and Ali Richards just didn't feel that.
I ask you a question real fast.
Yeah, go ahead, man.
That's a question. All right, so you trade away Jamal Adams.
Yep.
Go out and you draft this cornerback. Can you imagine as a GM, right? Bringing this guy in and add him to a secondary that has Jamal Adams back there? Can you just imagine that?
Whole different conversation right now.
It makes Allie Richards 10 times better at corner.
Whole different conversation then.
That's what I'm saying. Do guys think about that?
No. And here's the great thing, Chris Murray, is we need guys like that to continue not thinking about those things, because that makes the road a little bit easier for the rest of us here in the AFC if the Jets are down a little bit. Here's my one problem. He traded Adams to the Super Bowl champion. It's my biggest problem with the trade. Not that he traded Adams, because I'm fine with you getting rid of pieces you don't want.
Mm-hmm.
But you trade him to a team that you can't beat, and you made that team even better. That's my problem. That makes no sense to me. I could see if the Jets were manhandling the Ravens, then I could trade you a piece. I'm not worried about you. But this man just hung his first banner here in the Dynasty, and we just gave him the best safety in the game. That makes this Allie Richards pick to me a big reach for the Jets. Enough about Allie Richards. Let's move on, because the Rams had 2 picks in a 3 player span, and we're gonna get Braxton Humber. This is the tight end that if you watch the Tennessee Volunteers, these guys had some weapons. If you remember the 99 speed wide receiver that the Vikings took, this guy also came from Tennessee. This offense was dangerous, and Braxton Humber is another weapon here for the Rams. And Taz, I'm sorry, OG, I'm gonna go to you on this one. 8.6 speed at tight end. How important is that when you got a guy that can get off the ball at your tight end position?
That's very important, because now it makes a defense. It makes the guy that you're going up against have to worry about not only the wide receivers but also the tight end. This guy is 6'8". 6'8".
That is
86 speed.
They tripping.
Yo, he's 6'8". You talking about you can't teach 6'6". He took it up a couple notches. You can't teach 6'8". I'm tuning into all vitamin games, man. I want to see. Yeah. I pray that this guy, man, has a great career in the DML. But right now, just looking at him, man, the future is bright for him, man. It's very bright.
Yeah, 86 speed on 6'8", 260.
Look at his route running too.
Yeah, and he's already got good route running. Let me catch you on a linebacker or a safety at 6'8". That's a win. That's a win. And y'all know how important tight ends are to expert. I love this position. And this guy is a great pick. I like this pick better than the linebacker that he picked up. This is a monster at tight end. And if King Vitamin knows how to use him, he's going to be a huge weapon here for the Rams. All right, next up, AJ and those Cardinals. And we're going to see another left tackle come off the board. Taz, Charleston Long. Decent left tackle. We're going to see some linemen come off the board here soon that I think are better than Charleston. But a decent pickup here for the Cards. What do you think about Charleston Long?
He's solid. He's a solid player. That's about all I can really say. I mean, AJ struggled. He really struggled with this draft. He struggled this offseason, lost some players, traded away some players. Hopefully he can get it together, this season, next offseason, going into high stakes. Because, he's solid. He's solid.
It's a whole nother monster when you step into the big leagues with the Dynasty.
Oh, yeah.
And while we're here, this is the newest Blueprint guy here. Let's give a shout out to Ray and those Redskins down in the Blueprint for hanging his first banner with those Washington Redskins. Was a great game.
Congrats.
Great game by Ray and also by the Colts. And Ray kicks a 58-yard field goal with time expiring to win that football game. Was a great game. I know the OG and myself as commissioners down in the Blueprint, super excited for what we're building down there. And shout out to Ray hanging his first banner. All right, next up, let's go past the Cardinals. We're going to go to the Browns. All right, OG. We're in the chat, and it's your turn to pick. Carol Buggs comes off the board. What does this left end mean to the Cleveland Browns?
Man, it means a lot. Well, we have a lot banking on it, let's put it like that, because it's hard going into games where, your best defensive lineman and Joey Bosa is being double teamed all game, so you really can't. We have no other guys that's willing to step up. But when we watched this guy tape, we sat down, we had a meeting with him, we just felt his energy, because he seemed like he was pretty much a competitor. And he's a guy that's willing to put the work in. So we felt like, this was the right move to make, especially with this pick that we had. And since, he hit the field but practicing with us, he's showing that he's going to be a force to be reckoned with in the DM. I'm seeing that right now.
Yeah, you match him up with a guy like Joey Bosa. This kid, Carol Buggs, 6'4", 257, 80 speed, 84 excel coming off the edge. This is a great pick here by the Cleveland Browns. I know you were very excited when this guy fell to you. And he still got some work to do. Still got to work on a couple things. His finesse move need to improve, but he's got good block shed. He's got good speed, good acceleration. His power moves already to 83 tackle. Going to be a big piece here for the Cleveland Browns. All right, next up, Miami Dolphins are going to pick next. And Malcolm James comes off the board here. And Taz, another linebacker with that 82 speed, 87 acceleration, kind of in that middle range. He's not up there with the Clemens and the Jack, but this is a guy that's going to step in for a defense that's very, very good, Taz, in Miami. If there's anybody that can get the most out of a linebacker picking in the first round, it's got to be tight work. What do you think about Malcolm James here?
Good pick for tight work, in this area of the first round. 6'3", 263. It looks like he's already moved him to defensive end. Yeah. And that right there is a great move for tight work. This kid, he's going to get the experience. He's going to get to the ball. That 84 finesse move with that 82 speed, 87 excel, that's going to be nice. He still needs some work, but, he's in a really good system with a really good GM and coach. So he's going to do well.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, next up, another pick for the Cardinals, and he goes left tackle here. Russell Butler, 97 strength here. OG, talk about Russell Butler here for the Cardinals.
That dude whoever trying to get past something, he gonna hold him. That big guy, he gonna hold him. But this is a good, it's a good pick. I'm gonna tell you why, because that 97 strength, is gonna boost him up a little bit. But AJ man just felt like he had to address his offensive line, man.
I'm sorry. This is a defensive tackle.
D
Just the D tackle.
Oh, my fault, guys. Dang, I'm tripping. Let me get a sip of this coffee real fast. But it's a D tackle. It's a D tackle. This is gonna be a guy, man, that's gonna require a double team. He's gonna fill that hole. If you try to run against him, you know he's gonna take about 2 guys with him. You know, so that's gonna be able to create, you know, opportunity for the guys that's playing alongside with him. So I think this is a solid pick for AJ, man. But like Taz mentioned beforehand, man, with him trading away and losing a couple guys, I thought that he should have went offensive line. That's the point I was trying to get across earlier, because his offensive line right now has a lot of holes in it, and if you can't protect the quarterback, it don't matter who you draft on the defensive side of the ball, it's just not going to work. So, but this is a good guy, though. I like this pick.
Yeah, I really, really like this pick. Russell Butler was rated #1 defensive tackle on our board for this exact reason. He demolished the bench press at the combine. 97 strength, and you match him with a guy like Grady Jarrett, who is already known to require a double team in the middle as well. These 2 guys are going to lock up the middle of his defense. And here's the best part: when you got 2 defensive tackles that both require some additional help, it frees your linebackers up to flow down the field and go get you a tackle in the backfield. And that's what he's expecting coming from Russell Butler. This is a great pick. This is a better pick here for the Cardinals than his first pick that he had. All right. You know we got to give 2 awards away. And this is my favorite award. It's the funniest one. I'm going to mute my mic and laugh while this video is being played because it's the Cosby Award. Dion, roll that footage.
As you know, I'm all about that rape, popsicle. I'm all about that rape, popsicle. I'm all about that rape, popsicle. I'm all about that rape,
Okay. Shout out to the homie Kirk and those Green Bay Packers. And Taz, this has nothing to do with Casey Cummings. We'll get to the quarterback here in a minute. But as the Green Bay Packers, you have an opportunity to get rid of Rashard Penny, a running back that doesn't even play in your backfield. I mean, you got Kieron Colbert, who's one of the top running backs, and then you add a veteran in Ezekiel Elliott, and all you give up is your third down running back to get Ezekiel Elliott. How do these trades continue to happen in the dynasty, even though we got a trade calculator?
So let's try to figure this out. So the Packers have Kieron Colbert, who is the #1 running back, #1 rated running back in the dynasty. He gets rid of Rashad Penny to the Cowboys, and Penny happens to be 34th ranked running back in the dynasty. To acquire Zeke, who is the #7 ranked running back in the dynasty.
Wow.
What in the hell is wrong with HBO? He don't even run. He just needs a receiving back because he's just running screens. That's all. He's and dumping it out, to the flats, to the running back. That's what he needs. But I mean, come on.
What makes this worse is HBO drafted a running back in the first round.
Yes. And wait a minute.
So you trade away.
Hold on. Don't mean to cut you off.
No, go ahead, man.
The running back that he drafted, although he is star development, is the #33rd ranked running back in the dynasty currently.
So you have a top 10 running back in Zeke, and you trade him away for the 34th best running back in the dynasty. You draft the 33rd best running back. Yeah, that don't make no sense to me. Kirk, congratulations. Welcome to the fraternity of Cosby Award winners. I have won that award several times. I know Nasty Noop has won it multiple times. And it's a very proud group to be a part of. I still don't understand how trades like this happen, especially with the same people always involved in the trade. And by the way, the self-proclaimed trade master HBO.
Oh my gosh.
So yeah, there's that. But let's move on to Casey Cummings. And Taz, we'll just stick with you, man. 21 years old, coming out of Notre Dame, 6'3". He's got 88 throw power. Not the greatest in the world, but he's got 86 throw on the run. He's got 89 break sack. He's got 87 throw under pressure. Here's what I love about this kid. 89 speed, 83 acceleration at the quarterback position. Casey Cummings is going to be a great addition here for the Green Bay Packers. And he needed to go get a quarterback because Derek Carr is officially old in the dynasty. He's 33 years old. And Alan Leonard just was not performing to the level that Kirk wanted him to. Casey Cummings, this a good pick here for the Packers?
It's a great pick for the Packers. Now, I mean, my division just makes it harder and harder. Like, I got to worry about chasing after this fast-ass receiver. And now I got to worry about this fast-ass quarterback running all over the damn field. Yeah, this is a great pick. I hope he gets hurt like Colbert. We doing Bounty Gate in Detroit. But it's a great pick.
Yeah, I like this pick. And unfortunately, the Cosby Award kind of overshadows the great pick here by the Packers. Next up, Bengals at pick 23, Gilbert Davenport. Is this just a guy here at pick 23, OG, or this is a good pick here for the Bengals?
It's a little bit of both. But the Bengals, truth be said, likes to run the ball. So I think this is a good pick for him because, he has an 82 run block, 82 run block power, 86 strength. So I think this is a good pick for him, helps out with him running the ball. But it's an all right pick at 20, in my opinion, He's young, he's big, got a normal development, but this is going to be a guy I think that the picture is to put yourself in the best position to win come high stage. Some guys want to win now, some guys, want to win all cycle. I think this will be a good addition to his team come high stage because we got to develop him a little bit, but it's a good pick.
All right, next up, the Jacksonville Jaguars and the superstar center, Simon White, comes off the board here to the Jags. Taz, were you surprised this superstar lasted to pick 24?
Crazy that he lasted to 24. I mean, we've already discussed numerous teams, that had some holes on the offensive line that should have been, taken care of. But I mean, congratulations. I tip my hat to you, sir, because you got yourself a monster.
Yeah, he is going to be a great pickup. He's played very, very well in the preseason for us. We are very excited for him. All right, next up, the Dallas Cowboys, another first-round pick. I'm sorry, the Patriots will go first. Patriots here, left outside linebacker, Jalen Rowan. And guys, the other guy that was up for the Stretch Armstrong Award is the schemer, a.k.a. Freddie Jackson, a.k.a. I don't know what the hell I'm doing drafting here in the Dynasty. OG Chris Murray, Jalen Rowan. Does he make your practice squad in Cleveland?
Man, you getting cut. I'm saying the schemer posted him to the chat and said
he was proud of him.
Yo, this is a balanced player. Balanced where? Please help me out. Let me see. Where is he balanced at? Because besides the speed, which is an 86, with that 83 acceleration is okay. But outside of that, this dude, okay. Put him on the field when you play against the Cleveland Browns. I'm going to show you how balanced he is. Good.
Yeah, absolutely. Hopefully he can keep his balance as I'm running past him. This is a bum. This is a bum here at pick 25. And I don't understand when you scout guys how this guy is up on your board. This guy was rated, I want to say he was rated in a later round, not even in a first round pick. and none of his combine jumped out off the board at anybody but the Patriots. But then again, it's Freddie Jackson, and the Patriots are in the playoffs usually every year, or at least battling for the playoffs. So he must be doing something right, New England. But this was the other guy that got a couple votes here for the Stretch Armstrong Award. But JB took that award from me. All right, next up is the Dallas Cowboys. And let's get to his next pick. And Haynes Chamberlain. Now, Taz, the Dallas Cowboys had probably the 2 fastest wide receivers in-house.
Mm-hmm.
And you trade Rashawn Bass away.
Mm-hmm.
And you continually chase to find that speed again, or at least find somebody to match up with Meyer to try and help out on the other side. And so he goes and gets Haynes Chamberlain, who is going to take catches away from Richard Rabe. He's going to take catches away from Reggie Davis. I just don't understand the thought process here of going and getting Haynes Chamberlain. And let's talk about the player for a minute. 88 speed. He's got 87 excel. I mean, he is a big wide receiver at 6'3", 215. He's coming out of Miami. He's got good route running. He's got good. I mean, all of his attributes look good.
Mm-hmm.
But why are we still chasing a wide receiver when you had 2 of arguably the best wide receivers already on the roster?
Again, this falls into the HBO zone. Nobody, and I mean nobody, understands his thought process but him. It makes no sense to anyone else. I mean, you can't even say this is I want to win now, mentality. Because if he wanted to win now, he would have kept the team together that he had at the beginning of the cycle. But I think he just enjoys trading to be trading. And, if he wins along the way, good. Otherwise, he just has fun trading. And that's it. And then he can make videos and call other people bums. And
congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys. You are going to finish 3rd or 4th in the division again for every year that you've been in the dynasty. Congratulations, because he's already got 2 great wide receivers in Richard Rabe and Meyer. 2 guys that can play any spot you want to play, slot, outside, go across the middle, go deep. And then you had the burner in Reggie Davis, who's got 94 speed, 93 acceleration. This is a reach pick here for the Dallas Cowboys. All right, next up, it's the Chargers. And I saw that the Chargers are now going to the powder blue uniforms for all their home games. So we're going to need Andy Force to go ahead and make that change this year as well. I need to see powder blues every single home game. And we'll get Joseph Walters here for the Chargers. Good pick here at pick 27, OG. How you like this kid here?
This right here is it's one of those picks, you get down to the bottom half of the first round and you just trying to, strike gold. And I think he did with this because he already has, a secondary who has solid pieces out there. So you don't have to rush this guy into your system. You can actually take your time. You got some vets out there who can mentor him and mold him into the player that you want him to be. So I think this is a solid pick, for the Chargers. Solid pick.
Yeah. He knew Trevor was getting to the end of his career here with the Chargers, and he drafted a couple guys in Will Solomon and Frank Carey who have stepped in and really been a good piece. But he knows when Williams goes away, he's going to have that other guy step in, and Joseph Walters is going to be a good addition here for the Chargers. All right, next up, it's my brother, Addy 5 and those Saints. And he just continues to add pieces to his roster. But is Vincent Cates, is he that same caliber we've seen here from Addy? Or is this just one of those things because he's always drafting here in the last couple picks? He's just got to kind of find the right piece at the right time. Taz.
I mean, this Saints team is solid up and down the roster.
Yeah.
And at this point in the cycle, I think Addy's just, adding to that solid roster. I mean, he has solid starters all the way through. Why not just add quality depth? I mean, this kid right here will be a starter on a lot of teams in the Dynasty. He's coming to the Saints, and hey, he can play the backup.
Yeah.
You know?
Yes, so, that's an awesome feeling when you know you don't have to draft a starter. You have the squad already ready to go.
Exactly.
And we'll never say that Addy 5 reaches on a pick because it's Addy 5 and he's got banners in the ceiling to prove otherwise. Next up, Sweets 99 and those 49ers. And Jared Ream, I like this kid. This is the left tackle. He's got good strength, good run block already. Got to work on his pass block, but this is the good piece here for the 49ers. OG, do you like this pick here at pick 29?
Yeah, I like it because you said the number one thing. 89 strength, 84 run block. He fits the GM scheme that he's running out there in San Francisco. So this right here is picked because, one, he met somebody that, fits the scheme. And Sweets 99, that 49ers team out there, if a lot of people's not paying attention, they're stacked, on both sides of the ball. And I think adding this addition to his offensive line is going to make that San Francisco 49ers team even more dangerous.
Yeah, I like what Sweets is doing in San Francisco and not getting enough credit for what he's done in building this roster and proving spots where they needed help. Still felt he should have been on road to greatness in one of them 6 spots, but that's my personal opinion. Next up, KP and the Chiefs coming off of a 16-0 season. And Taz, we are in the chat, and you and I both have Brody winners on our board. And I'm taking Brody winners with my second-round pick. I had already made up my mind he was going to be a Jag with my second-round pick. I had contemplated picking him with my first-round pick. I liked his speed that he ran at the combine. But the Chiefs snag him here at pick 30. And is this the guy you expect to see? Now, he wasn't rated very high. Matter of fact, I think they had him in the 3rd or 4th round rated. Yeah. But with the speed that he had, you kind of had to take a risk on him. And I know you and I both were going to snag him in the 2nd round if he was there. Mm-hmm. Did KP reach here in the 1st to get him, or is this one of those things where you got a guy like Patrick Mahomes and Tyreek Hill who have torn up the dynasty in passing yards, and now he has another speedster to put in that slot wide receiver spot and is really going to help this Chiefs team out?
He's going to help. He's definitely a speedster that can, get out there and ball. But at the same time, I'm a little disappointed in some of his attributes. That catching traffic, spec catch, and that short route running, with that normal dev just kind of blows, But he does have 92 agility. His medium and deep route running are good. I mean, he's going into a really good system, and that's the big thing. If it was another team, then we would definitely say it was a super reach. But, picking this late in the 1st round and going to the system that he's going to, it's actually a solid pick.
Yeah, and, we talked, KP, we think you got screwed here. We thought his speed would be a lot higher with what he ran at the combine. We thought for sure he was going to be 96, 97 speed because he ran like a 4.3, 40 at the combine. I mean, that's just ridiculous. All right, next up, Minnesota Vikings. He had 2 picks in the 1st round, and he picked up the best wide receiver we've seen in a long time get drafted, and so he had to have someone to throw to him. So he goes and gets Jack Huntington. OG Chris Murray, is this guy just stands back there and launches the ball up in the field, lets Griffin go get it?
Yo, I could be back there playing quarterback. It don't matter. I'm telling you, it don't matter who it is. It's a good pick. You just need a guy that's going to go back, hike the ball, and just throw it up. So it don't matter who you got at the quarterback position. I'm telling you right now. It don't even matter. Yeah,
Jack Huntington, you see his film here at Texas A&M. This is a good pickup here. This guy can throw every single route here in the NFL. And when you give him a weapon that's got 99 speed, kind of makes your job a little bit easier at the quarterback position. All right, next up, pick 32, and that goes usually to the Super Bowl champion. And so on behalf of the guys here on the franchise, we just want to say congratulations again to Bruce, and those Ravens hanging his first banner with a shutout in the Super Bowl. Was a good Super Bowl win versus a very, very good Eagles team. Did not expect Matty Ice to put up 0, and that defense is balling, but he needed a quarterback, and so the Ravens go and get Reed Bakatari. And Taz, another quarterback here drafted 32nd who's got some good attributes. You like this kid?
Yeah, I was checking this kid out earlier. This is a nice pickup right here. You know, he has quick development, 6'5", 231, you know, out of the Ohio State University.
That's all right. It's all right.
He's coming in. I mean, look at that short and medium accuracy already at 87, deep at 76. This is a solid quarterback going to a real good system. I mean, now it's just a matter of who is he going to keep, who is he going to let go, because he already has 3 solid quarterbacks now. So it's going to be a little QB controversy in Baltimore.
Yeah, it's going to be pick your poison at this point. Do we see the Ravens maybe change their offense up? We'll see. You know, he's been a run-heavy kind of guy. Now he's got some good quarterbacks on the roster. All right, one last thing we always do here on the franchise. Mr. Irrelevant, last pick here in the draft, and it's Darion Kuali. This is the wide receiver going to the Baltimore Ravens. And as of week 3 in the preseason, he is still on the roster, OG. Does Darian make the roster in Baltimore, or is he going to be one of those practice squad players?
He ain't making the roster in Baltimore, man. He about to pack his stuff up. Where you head to the practice squad, bro?
Mr. Irrelevant. Mr. Irrelevant the past 2 years made the roster there for the New Orleans Saints. But OG has called it. He's not making the roster here in Baltimore. All right, guys. Those are picks 1 through 32 and Mr. Irrelevant. All right, guys. Good draft overall. We saw a couple reaches. We saw some home runs hit by guys. The Vikings got a monster at wide receiver. Saw a lot of good offensive linemen come off the board. Some really good running backs. We'll see if they fit into those schemes for the players they went into. But a good draft overall. All right, Taz, what you got for the Dynasty before we get out of here?
Just want to say good luck to everybody except those that are on my schedule this season. And keep on working, keep on grinding. We're almost through with this cycle. High stakes is almost on us. So just good luck to everyone.
All right, OG, what you got for the Dynasty before we get out of here?
Do your homework, man. Please, just do your homework on moves that you making and things that you doing. But the Browns is coming to ball this season, flat out. Man, you missed the playoffs 2 years straight. We hungry. If you on our schedule, we coming for your head.
I think the Browns are on my schedule, so we'll be on the lookout for that. All right, guys, it's the franchise. Can't thank Taz and the OG Chris Murray for jumping on the show. Always great when I get to do shows with these guys. And, of course, we couldn't do any of this without our guy in the background, our producer, Dr. Dre, Mr. Nasty Noob himself, making sure that these shows look amazing, go on without a hitch. So we appreciate everything that he does in the background. To everybody in the Dynasty, guys, remember, if you have questions on rules, hit your boy Taz or your boy Expert in the DM. If you have money struggles, you don't know what to do with your cap space, that will go to SJ, the owner of the Houston Texans. He'll help you out with that. If you are named HBO and you run the Dallas Cowboys, stop doing anything without consulting somebody in the Dynasty. We want to help you out. Never mind. You're just going to do what you want to do. Congratulations again to the Ravens and hanging his first banner. Always a good thing. And we got 3 more seasons left, guys, before Madden 19 is done here in the Dynasty. And we'll have our eyes focused on the live team draft going into Madden 20 as everybody gets their lineup ready for where they want to go for the next year. But we appreciate y'all tuning in. This has been the latest episode of the franchise. It's your boy Expert. We out.
Thank you for tuning into the DML Network. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button below.